Oh, baby! Welcome back, everybody, to the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. Badass music in the background. I am your host, Crypto Bro. It is another beautiful Wednesday, and we are back at it again with another edition of the daily live stream. Some upside targets and some downside targets for some of the assets that we were observing last night have been met. You guys, you literally can't make this shit up. We have plenty to discuss today, and I am not going to hesitate to begin. We have plenty of requests, so we definitely have a potentially longer stream than usual coming up very, very quickly, very, very soon. Oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 requests in this morning's post on Facebook, so we definitely have plenty to cover and discuss tonight, and let's just get right on to it. First upside target that we need to be talking about here is, yes indeed, the 21 exponential for NASDAQ has been met, but guess what? It does look a little bit more like it is being rejected at the current moment here, seeing price action decline with a little negative momentum. RSI, again, is the more reactive indicator here, looking at a potential rejection of the negatively sloped exponential. I would actually line this up and consider it a rejection of the 50 read as well, which is never a good sign for upside momentum here. Yeah, we do have a little bit of a trend line in formation here on stochastics, but again, is stochastics a show of true momentum here? Depends on what price action decides to do here. Wouldn't be out of the question, though, in my opinion, to see a little bit more continuation to the upside towards the 21 once again here. But I would say very confidently any closure below 15,800, we likely have ourselves a top, and the next target becomes this horizontal support once again, and likely lower, guys. Just because, you know, confirming another lower high would not be a good thing, especially after confirming a lower low here. So for NASDAQ, things, you know, again, while I did mention yesterday there were some bullish implications, it does not, again, my bias doesn't matter. My bias at the end of the day does not matter. What the chart tells me is what truly matters here. What the chart is telling me is we just rejected the 21, ladies and gentlemen. We just rejected the 21. Yes, the target was met to the upside, but it got sold into here. No breach, no cross above the 21 to be aware of. Now, that's not to say, you know, this candle here today could just be a little bit of a sell-off. I do want to see what the 4 hours telling me here. Ooh, look, 4 hours real close to a top. 4 hours real close to a top here, but we are on a series of rising lows from a 4 hour perspective and rising highs. So, you know, at the bare minimum, we are in the precipice of a short-term time frame uptrend, excuse me. So I said uptrain. Uptrain. Dude, it's that's what we're gonna call uptrends from now on. We're gonna call them uptrains. It's a fucking uptrain. All right. God, I'm fired up today, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for my tomfoolery here, but I digress. I literally don't care. So here we go. Short-term time frame uptrain on NASDAQ here, definitely implying, you know, maybe the pressure is still on to the up here. Let me see what momentum's doing. Maybe momentum's giving us a little bit of a tell here. Stochastics on the 4 hour time frame very sharply down. RSI back below the 50 read here, and you know, again, the most important thing that I'm paying attention to here for NASDAQ is whether or not we put in a lower high. We put in a lower high. I'm going to be looking for lower lows. You know, we confirm a lower high here. My next target realistically is going to be like, you know, $15,300 here to the downside, just for the simple fact that likely seeing a lower high here would be downtrend confirmation, right? And that would be a signal of continuation to the next target to the downside from my perspective here. The only thing that will convince me otherwise, obviously, everybody's probably saying in the back of their mind, of course, a closure above the 21 exponential. An open and closure above the 21 exponential here will be the only thing that convinces me that upside continuation is more likely than not. Obviously, I want to see confirmation. If that condition is met, you know, it is still a little too early to tell here. We still have 17 hours left in today's candle. Anything can happen in that time. We can see just a little bit of a, you know, a sell-off and then a boom above the 21. But if we do close above the 21 here, I'll look for a secondary open and closure, at which point I'll extend my next move to the upside towards the 16,445 target. Excuse me. I need some water here. water like a fucking man. Excuse me. But not really. Oh, well, it disappeared. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at NASDAQ. I do apologize for that pause there. I needed some water. That's kind of how I'm looking at NASDAQ. I wonder if SPY futures is the same here. Let's check it out. Actually, no. Confirming about the 21 exponential does SPY futures here. Uptrend is still in formulation. Now, here's the thing. We don't have a lower low. Excuse me. We don't have a lower low, but we could confirm a lower high. I would say with confidence, any candle closure below the 21 exponential. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. Any closure below there, from a conservative standpoint, below 46.95 spot 25 here. Likely we get a top call from the RSI here, which even though we closed above the 21, we do seem to be rejecting the exponential at the current moment in time. We do have a little bit of an uptrend in formulation here. Boom, boom, boom. Plenty of touch points to be in consideration of for RSI. So yeah, that is valid as far as upside pressure is concerned. But a lower high right here only tells me that lower lows are likely the next move here. A top call below the 21, if confirmed, I will extend my targets to the downside right around 46.28 spot 50. Ooh. How would you provide an analysis about the possibility of a stock market crash in 2022? Here's the thing. Thank you for the comment, Linda. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna do my best to provide what I can. As far as predicting when and how and why. For a stock market crash is a no-go here. The only thing that I can tell you is from an analytic perspective. Now, we can go back to NASDAQ for this example real quick because this is valid. Now, while I do believe there are implications at the current moment in time for some downside pressure on NASDAQ, from a macro perspective, I am absolutely bullish on all time frames for the general index markets here. NASDAQ, SPY futures, Dow Jones Industrial Average, as a result of the US dollar index coming to the downside, which we will cover next. Now, for me to be convinced of anything bearish here, I'm going to flip to the weekly time frame here, and we're going to look at one very important level. We're going to be looking at this region right here, the weekly low at 14,750. Now, a change of behavior needs to occur before I even consider the possibilities of a long-term bear market here. Now, as you can see from a weekly perspective, I mean, there is absolutely nothing bearish about this. Even the coronavirus dump back at the beginning of 2020 here was not inherently bearish, right? Yes, from a daily time frame perspective, you could argue it was a little bit of a bear market. Yes, we did see a series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, but again, this was short-lived. When we talk about bear markets here, and I want to use Bitcoin as an example real quick, when we talk about bear markets, we're talking about prolonged periods of downside trending markets here. And we'll go for this example on Bitcoin. Actually, we need to go way back in time, all the way back here. When I talk about a bear market, when I talk about an actual market crash or a market decline, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. We're going to be looking for a series of lower highs and lower lows to continue over a long period of time, aka this example with Bitcoin here, and we can see it is definitely trending to the downside. And at the very end of the at the very end of the downtrend here, we just see a cataclysmic sell-off. Which basically is the formula required for this to recover and then perform a beautiful bull market that we've actually been in for quite some time here. Again, barring that cryptocurrency meltdown in the beginning of 2020 here, the market has been generally bullish the entire time. And from a very macro perspective here, even in the precipice of this inevitable bear market right here at the end of 2017, you can see from a macro perspective, we are still on rising lows here. So, as far as, predicting when and where the bear market will occur, I cannot predict such a thing. That's why I play the markets level by level. And from a NASDAQ's perspective here on the daily time frame, I think I just fucked up. I deleted all my shit on this chart. It is what it is. For the macro change of behavior point, it's going to be this here. it's going to be right here. If I can, why is my computer's fritzing out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and reload this screen real quick. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. Yeah, my computer's on the fritz right now. Is all my stuff on Bitcoin? Okay, so it's just the NASDAQ chart. All right, so whatever. It's not that hard of a chart to set up anyway. So the change of behavior points is right here, right? Any candle closures below this on a daily time frame, and we'll call it 14,005. Any closures below there, that's when I say, okay, maybe we have the conditions required to enter a prolonged bear market here, right? I need to see a major structural change of behavior before I'm even convinced that this is going to flip into an actual bear market. Now, as far as it, like absolute capitulation or a flash crash or a black swan event, those are type of events that you can't predict. You can never know when something like that's going to happen in the stock market. Take the cryptocurrency crash and the stock market crash at the beginning of 2021. It was extremely short-lived. Yes, it was very violent, and we saw massive losses to the downside, but it was basically met with very quick recoveries back into a bull market. I haven't in my career ever traded in a legitimate bear market, which is why you guys always hear me express excitement for the potentials to see a bear market. While in my opinion right now we are nowhere close to that. If we do get close to that, I'll start getting really excited because I want to trade a fucking bear market. That's another formula that I need to master in order to become a full-time day trader. Now, yes, I've made trades below the 21 during bull markets, and I've made trades above the 21 during bull markets, but I have not done the opposite. I have not traded above the 21 in bear markets, and I have not traded below the 21 in bear markets. So I'm looking for a legitimate actual bear market to occur whenever it decides to occur. And yes, I will definitely analyze AMC. I'm going to get through the bulk of my analysis, first, before we get to requests, which leads me to go back to SPY futures here, and kind of the same thing. From a structural standpoint, this is the change of behavior point right here on a macro perspective. 42.95 spot 50 is that change of behavior point that would convince me at this current moment in time that we could potentially enter a bear market, at least from an index perspective. Now, change of behaviors could still occur on this formation because we have a series of rising lows, but these would be more like short-term, medium-term time frame change of behavior points. And then this point down here, again at 42.95 would be that macro change of behavior perspective. And since we're nowhere near that, I have no bearish implications for the long term, just for the short term. And for SPY futures here, again, we could potentially confirm a top and see continuation to the current low, 46.30. Right, but only if we close below the 21 and confirm a top. However, we did close above the 21 exponential with a confirmation candle closure above, which leads me to believe the next target is going to be the current all-time high resistance at 47.88 spot 75. Any candle closures above there that confirm new tentative support, I will look for continuation of the 1 spot 272 Fibonacci extension target around 49.23 spot 50, give or take a few bucks here or there, but that would be the general target if confirmed above that region. We do see stochastics here starting to see that up pressure, right? We're starting to see the stochastics not being so negative, which is kind of a show of upside momentum, upside pressure being applied to the bearish perspective, but it still remains to the downside. It is still in a negative sloping fashion. So that and tied with your RSI currently rejecting the exponential leads me to believe that it is possible we see a top right here and a lower high confirmed before going to new lower lows, which kind of is what I want, right? I want this thing to, see a cataclysmic, decline. I want to see the bubble, fucking bubble pop. I want to see some red candles, goddammit. But for now, I am bullish on the long-term time frame perspective, unless we see some kind of lower high, some kind of downtrend in formulation. And until then, those are my dispositions. Now, DXY is what makes me think that upside, oh my God, is possible here. Massive continuation to the downside for the US dollar index. First target has been met. First target has been met. First target has been met. we saw price action decline and continue with confirmation below new tentative resistance today. It hits that diagonal trend line and actually closes below it here. Now, I would say a little bit of a pop-up to test, like 95 spot 15 here is possible. Test the bottom side of that diagonal trend line here, but if we reject below there, my initial target is going to become 94 spot 53, which in my opinion was already the overall target. I just wanted to see how price action would react on this diagonal trend line of peace and prosperity, and guess what? It didn't. It closed right below it. So next target is to the downside at 94 spot 56 until proven otherwise, and the only proof otherwise at this current moment in time would be a low call right here, at which point I would target the 21 exponential once again right around 95 spot 86 for the US dollar index. But you guys already know what I'm going to say here. US dollar index is kind of showing a little bit of force to the downside, which bodes well most of the time, in my opinion, for the cryptocurrency market and the general stock market. So with NASDAQ doing what it's doing, SPY futures doing what it's doing, if we see continuation on both of those, then we're going to have to start shining the light on the bullish perspective once again, and shy away from that bearish perspective, because that bearish perspective is starting to open up here, in my opinion, on the US dollar index. New lows being confirmed, looking for continuation to the next target to the downside, and realistically it could go lower, but I want to see confirmation below the first target here before I start calling that out. Now, RSI flashing off major signals here, rejecting the 50 read, massively continuing to new lows here. Yes, it is arguable that we could formulate some other kind of trend line, but I do believe the original trend line of peace and prosperity here for RSI has been broken, tested, rejected, and confirmed here. So, take it with a grain of salt. Downtrend continuation with stochastics on a daily time frame here. We do see stochastics entering the bearish critical territory here. Bears have control, not a good signal here for bullish momentum. Could potentially see new lows on that as well. So until proven otherwise, I am looking for downside targets on the US dollar index. We're going to go ahead and knock out Bitcoin and then hop over to requests. Kind of the same thing I was discussing with US dollar index. US dollar index is down, and look at Bitcoin coming up. Close enough is close enough. I am considering this a target met. If I was taking profit at this region, I would have probably taken profit exactly where we saw the candle yesterday wick to here. Now looking at the momentum oscillators, a low call in the RSI, bearish control zone back above the exponential, with the exponential forcing to a positive slope. I do like that. I want to see more though, right? Stochastics here bouncing off the new lows in the bearish critical zone back into the bearish control zone. I do like that as a signal. Now I'm going to be waiting for a couple of signals to line up before I take a trade, right? Before I take a trade. Now we do see a little bit of that upside pressure pushing against the 21 exponential here. I want to see an open and closure above the 21 exponential before I am confident of taking a trade, at which point I'll look for the next target to the upside here at 48,100 bucks to the upside. Now, from a change of behavior perspective, I don't get, long-term bullish again until at the bare minimum we see a change of behavior from this downtrend closing above roughly 51,000 bucks. This is the change of behavior point. Yeah, 50,850, give or take, a few dollars there. But until candles close above that region here, I'm not looking for that explosive move. Yes, it is possible we see price action do such a thing, but I'm not confident with that now. We do have a low call. We do have upside momentum being shown with RSI and stochastics. But again, I trade the 21, and until we see an open and closure above the 21, I am not taking a trade for the upside. Now, just like NASDAQ, just like SPY futures, if we do fail to close above the 21 exponential and confirm a lower high right here, I will be looking for continuation back down to that change of behavior point, at which point I start to get nervous, right? This is that one change of behavior point that I've been paying attention to for quite some time on Bitcoin. Any candle closure below there, I will immediately flip my bias to a long-term bearish perspective here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We are away from that. We did confirm support here. We do have a little bit of a diagonal trend line that is technically valid in my opinion, but again, I play it as safely as possible. I'm waiting for confirmation above the 21. If I can get confirmation above the 21 at the same time that stochastics crosses into bearish neutral territory and RSI crosses the 50 read, I'll have all the evidence I need to open and take a trade and manage my risk immediately. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, and it's likely going to be the same for the rest of the cryptocurrency market. We do have cryptocurrency requests tonight, but guess what? First come, first serve. The first one I'm going to take a look at here is AMC. Downtrend. I mean, it's in a downtrend here. It is looking weak. Definitely looking weak. RSI is in the bearish control zone at the current moment in time, playing with a ceiling of resistance. Never a good look here. And we are kind of seeing a little bit of chop consolidation with price action right now. So we're going to put a horizontal right here. Boom. This is kind of the box that I'm going to be looking at here for confirmation whether or not we see upside continuation or downside decline continuation here. But we are kind of seeing a little bit of consolidation right now with price action. Any candle closure above 23 spot 82. I will look for continuation to at the bare minimum to the 21 exponential. Now, opening closures above the 21 exponential. Yes, I will look for the next target to the upside. Give me a second. I want to change it up because this is the change of behavior point. I'm going to go ahead and turn these back to blue. Booyah. We got two, yeah, there we go. So, you know, candle closures above the 21 exponential here, yeah, leads me to believe we do see movements back to that change of behavior point, but I do not get bullish on AMC at all until we see a change of behavior, a closure on new highs. Currently, right now, we are playing with the current lows, which means any candle closure below $20.80 could lead to a vast decline in price action, as the only target to the downside that I have for this price action is $14.5. $14.5 is the downside target for this. And again, if I had to throw my bias out there, I am more biased to the downside at the current moment in time than to the upside, just because, you know, RSI playing in that bearish control zone. The longer we see RSI remain in the bearish control zone, the more control the bears have. Stochastics in the bearish critical zone here after rejecting the neutral territory here for the bullish perspective. Stochastics, this is not healthy. This is not healthy here. So, you know, pressure is definitely implied to the downside. And, you know, quite literally, I'm waiting for some kind of confirmation of either upside momentum, again, which is possible, or downside momentum, which is also possible. So I'm actually looking at these two horizontals and waiting for a candle closure above the resistance or a candle closure below support before making such a disposition. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave AMC. What's next? AVAX. We got some crystal clear cryptocurrencies here. AVAX USD, likely the same. Yeah, you know, confirming a little bit of a low right here. We do see RSI back above the exponential as well. Again, same thing. I want to see a breach above the 21 exponential. If Bitcoin breaches the 21 exponential and confirms above, we likely see the same sentiment here on AVAX. At which point, I would target the next high, the last lower high at about $115, which is kind of the change of behavior point. I need to see price action confirm on new highs before I get, you know, immediately bullish once again, right? You got to remember, we're not looking to catch the entire move. We're looking for confirmation that adds confidence to a trade, and then, you know, we catch the wave at, you know, in the beginning of the wave, right? We don't have to buy the absolute low, because again, you could have bought the absolute low. You could have. I wouldn't have, and you could have taken profit at the 21 exponential, but that's a little move. That's a little move here. I'm looking for confirmation above the 21, and I'm looking for the potential big move that likely results, you know, as confirmation above the 21 here. So as far as price action on this one's concerned, I'm paying attention to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin most specifically, and seeing if we do see, you know, that breach, that movement to the upside for Bitcoin here, which likely results in this doing the same. But again, the sentiment remains the same for altcoins as it does for Bitcoin. If we do reject the 21 here and confirm a lower high, I will be looking for a retest of $78.45 and likely lower to around $69.50. I would be looking for lower lows if we confirm yet another lower high, because that would just be, you know, signals of downtrend continuation here. So that's going to do it for AVAX. What's the next one here? CROUSD, CROUSD, crypto.com. That's not the right chart. There's the right chart. Seeing some weird, what the fuck? A gap? A gap that's already, a gap that's already topped. It's not confirmed as a top, but we do have a top call on RSI here with a rejection of the exponential currently playing out here. I'm just going to stick to the technicals with this one here. If we do confirm a lower high, I will be looking for a breach of 44 cents. I would actually be targeting the downside horizontal support at 39.5 cents. That would be the first target. Again, unless proven otherwise, which at the moment in time, that proof otherwise would be a breach of current resistance, which is perfectly aligned with the 21 exponential above 51 cents. We'll just call it 52. We'll round it up, 52 cents here with an open and closure to confirm, at which point I would be targeting the next resistance up right around 64, 65 cents, give or take. Again, we do have a couple of conflicting indications here. Stochastics looking more bullish than not here, seeing a fresh cross back to the upside. And seeing continuation here. RSI is not speaking the same volume with a potential rejection and a potential lower high in formation here. I would be more inclined to follow RSI on this one. Obviously, I'm going to be following price action. Price action is the most important thing. Price action, horizontal support and resistance, 21 exponential, and then RSI and stochastics. Right there is an order of operations for this stuff here. But RSI putting in a lower high, calling a top here, probably wouldn't play out good. But Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin does its thing to the upside. We likely see this one do the same thing. So that's going to do it for Crow. SHIB. Oh, Shiba Inu. Big move today, I heard. Big move today. Yeah, big move. Testing the 21 exponential, closing just below it, forcing it to a slightly positive slope right now. We are seeing price action currently above that region here. I would say comfortably. Not today, but if we close above today, the 21, I will wait for the secondary confirmation closure above before looking for the next resistance, which is around 30, we'll call it 3,900 Satoshis here. That would be a valid target to the upside and a change of behavior point for SHIB USD. Any candle closure above 3,900 Satoshis, I will extend that target to roughly 4,750 Satoshis, 4,750 Satoshis. We do see plenty of signals here being flagged off, plenty of early warning signals being flagged off here, bouncing off the bearish control zone top, boom, right through the exponential, flowing it to a positive slope here and going towards that 50 read. I do like that. Stochastics with girth, with veiny force back into the bearish control zone and playing around with the top side of the bearish control zone here. Definitely a good look if we see a confirmation closure above the 21. Now, same sentiment applies. Just because we got to pump up here does not mean we see continuation. We could easily put a lower high in here, at which point, again, I would be looking for moves back down to 2,650 Satoshis. And if we close below there, I mean, what really is there? Fibonacci's? We would have to play with Fibonacci's. Let's actually go ahead and pop those bad boys out. See what we fucking get, right? See what we get. Yeah, I would target the spot 786 Fibonacci retracement target here at like 2250 Satoshis if we do confirm that change of behavior below the current macro low at 2670. But again, we do see momentum oscillators curling back to the upside, and we do see a breach of the 21 currently, right? We have 18 hours, 15 minutes left in this candle's life before it closes. We could reject and put a top in. Anything can happen, but seeing pressure being applied to that 21 right now is a very exciting thing for anybody holding SHIB, because if we confirm above the 21, then the probability of continuation to new highs increases, right? So exciting stuff for SHIB. We definitely don't want to see it decline. I am a big bag holder of SHIB right now, sitting on about 45 million Satoshis, SHIB coins. So, see this thing pump. Cool. I want it. I want to see it. I want to see this price action go to the fucking moon and change my life. What's next? Link USD. I wonder if it continued. Wrong one. Nah, still no top call though. But here's the low. See, this one's a little confusing to me, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why this here was classified as a low. It definitely doesn't look like a low formation, but I'm going by what my RSI is telling me here. Free money. Free money. If you're not using the Brave browser, what are you doing? You can customize your ads, click them, and they pay you in cryptocurrencies, basic attention tokens, each and every month for sitting at your computer and just clicking those ads. You click them, you close them, you get paid. Use the Brave browser, guys. For Link USD, I'll be honest with you, I am looking for continuation towards the 21 exponential here. Momentum oscillators not painting a healthy picture. Although we don't have any divergence, we do have a fresh cross of stochastics pointing to the downside here in the bullish critical zone. Again, when we do see stochastics cross the threshold, the 80 read, that typically is a critical signal, in my opinion. RSI playing around with that exponential right now, looking to potentially cross, confirming new lows, potentially even too. So, unless we break resistance here, I'm not looking for continuation, but if we do break current resistance at 27.33, I will look for continuation to the next resistance, which is... yeah, right here. I would be looking for $30.90 as a potential target to the upside if we confirm back above current resistance. Now, we did confirm resistance. We broke below. We confirmed. We're seeing follow through. It leads me to believe we could see it test the target of the 21 and maybe even a stab all the way back down to $23.10 here. So I'm awaiting price action and seeing what it decides to do. We know as long as price action remains above the 21, I am going to be looking for price action continuation. So it wouldn't be out of the question to see a pop back down, confirm some kind of structural high or low along this region. Because if this is a low right here, it's an inconsequential low. It is not a structural low. It's just a continuation confirmation here, which we got, right? Which we got. So it wouldn't be out of the question to see a legitimate structural low be confirmed on the 21 or the support below the 21 before seeing continuation further to the upside. So that's kind of going to do it for Link today. What's next? .USD. It's been a minute since I've done this one, I think. So yeah, same sentiment. Closure above the 21, looking for potential confirmation. If we do get confirmation today above the 21, I will be looking for extension to the next resistance at $31. However, if we blow a top here, I'm going to be looking for retracements back down to 23.60, right? And potentially lower. Same sentiment as Bitcoin here, you guys. If Bitcoin doesn't boom, 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 the new highs, we likely see downtrend continuation as a result, especially if we confirm lower highs. Same sentiment for this one here. We are currently below resistance, but we did see a breach above the 21. So that's kind of the disposition that I'm going for here. Is I'm waiting for confirmation on a couple of these cryptocurrencies here. We do see a breach of the 21, which means I'm waiting for this candle to close to see if it's confirmed as a legitimate 21 trade, or if the 21 is continuing to act as tentative resistance. And if it does act as tentative resistance, I will be looking for a decline at the very least to the current lows at $23.68. And then let's see if we have we do have a level right here. Look at that. If we do breach that low, I will be looking for continuation to new lows all the way down to this first target at $20.66 here. So that's kind of the sentiment for .USD. What do we have now? Elon USDT. Is that a thing? Dogelon. What chart? What exchange? Let's go with KuCoin. Let's see what it has. Oh my god. I wonder if there's any more history. No, that's not even a clean chart. I've never looked at this chart before. Nah, yeah, that's probably going to be my best bet, is doing this one right here. Let's go ahead and get some lines plotted here. Boom, squiggly lines and everything. Oh, yeah, it's definitely consolidating. Definitely a big period of consolidation. We are below the 21, but, kind of the same sentiment here. Kind of the same sentiment. We're putting pressure here on the 21 exponential, which leads me to believe if we see an opening closure above that region, I'll be looking for moves to the next target, somewhere around 1,800 Satoshis. And closures on new highs leads me to believe we could be playing with new all-time highs, which means this kind of looks like SHIB, though. We're going to have to play with extensions. There we go. We have extensions. Any candle closure above 1,820 Satoshis here, I will be looking for moves all the way up to the current all-time high, right around 2,300 Satoshis. However, same sentiment is implied here, rejection of the 21 exponential, and I will be looking for moves back down to 1,050 Satoshis, which would confirm lower lows here. RSI is above the 50 read and the exponential, but not confirmed just yet. Again, I'm going to tie that in confluence with a potential breach of the 21 exponential, and we do see stochastics curling up back into the bearish control zone. So we do have a couple of things lining up for this coin here, but it's the same, it's the same sentiment being implied, guys. It's the same sentiment. If Bitcoin goes to the up, it's very likely that the rest of the altcoin market does the same, especially versus US dollar pairs. I'm not too sure about versus Bitcoin pairing, but as far as US dollar pairing is concerned, yeah, Bitcoin goes to the upside. It's likely the rest of the altcoin market does the same, but if it goes to the downside, likely follow suit to the downside as well for the altcoin market. Sandra TP Thomas G. Sister, what? I think that's spam. Thank you for your. Is that a? I don't. No, that's not a request. No, I think that's just spam. I don't know what you typed out, man, but thank you. Thanks for dropping a comment. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's gonna do it for Elon USDT here. I did AMC. I was requested to do NVTS. Navitas Semiconductor Corporation. Ass. This one's ass. Straight ass. Yeah, very bad. It doesn't have that much history, so the only history that I can go off of is the current downtrend that we do see here. But this one is definitely dog shit. As it stands currently, it's dog shit. We don't even have I can't even use fucking. I don't know if I can use retracements here. Maybe I can. Let's see if that works. Structural low, structural high. Yeah, we can. Resistance. I mean, we have it. We have resistance. Okay. We have a couple of things to go off of here. Please be advised, the analysis on this asset is completely invalid. RSI downtrend, stochastics downtrend, and neither momentum oscillator looks good. Stochastics in the bearish critical zone, and RSI diving to new lows, shows no signs of stopping here below the 21 exponential. I would say with no confidence, but I would say any candle closure below $11.90. I would be looking for retracements back down towards the 1 spot 272 Fibonacci retracement target at $9.75. However, a breach of current resistance at $12.87 leads me to believe at the very minimum a move back up to $13.86 is going to be the next target to the upside. Things don't get exciting in my opinion for this until we break above $13.86, because the next target becomes like $17, 17 and a half bucks here. So not too much history on that asset, but that's where I'll leave it. Tesla looking at a higher low at the current moment in time. Let's go ahead and plot my points. Got a clear and concise resistance. I would be, as a result of this, I would be looking at extension to the current resistance at $1,215 here. RSI reacting exactly the way I would want RSI to react in a bull market here. After playing a little bit of bearish divergence, we see a higher low structure bounce off the 50 read, the back above the exponential, forcing it to a positive slope. I do like that. Stochastics, very, very, very telling of a potential cool down, right? I like when price action goes to the upside or consolidates to the upside while stochastics is cooling down, because that's just a tell that maybe we're looking at a little bit of a cool off here. So as a result of confirming above the 21 exponential, which we did, first candle closure breaches above. This candle here today closed and confirmed above. I will be looking for continuation to 1,215 bucks here. unless proven otherwise, and that only proof otherwise would be a closure below the 21, which would confirm a top on RSI, and we likely see new lows with a targeted move all the way down to like 800 and we'll just call it $900 here. Not too many resistance support levels. I would actually look for moves down because this is a low. We can plot that out as a potential support here. We did see support in price action. This would actually be the first target if we put a top about $1,000 to the downside for Tesla. So yeah. Actually, let's look at the potentials for all-time highs. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna bust out the fibs for the simple fact that we could potentially be testing the current all-time highs. Any closure on new all-time highs that confirms as new tentative support, I will be looking for extension of the 1.272 Fibonacci extension target, somewhere around $1,400, give or take a few bucks, but that would be the general target to the upside that I would be eyeballing if we do see Tesla confirm new all-time highs and confirm. And I think that's going to do it for the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for everything, everybody. Thank you. From the deepest bottom portion of my heart, from every portion of my heart, thank you for the support, thank you for the love, thank you for being a part of the community. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell, and you already know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.